Hello everybody and welcome in this new video. Today we will talk about functions, args and quarks, asterisk operator, and as always 2 projects will be given at the end of the video to help you understand more and practice more all of the notions. Okay, so let's go and let's try to code this. So the first thing we will be talking about is functions. But it's really important to know why should we use the functions. So the question that we need to ask ourselves is, are functions really important? Of course they are, because when you are making something very big, you are working on a project that contains, for example, several functionalities. The most of the time those functionalities does have some part of the code, or a part of these functionalities has the same logic. So the code that you will make for the first functionality, for example, you will make it again for the second functionality. So it will be just a nonsense to make a code here and to make the same thing in the other place. It will be just a waste of time, and also your code will get bigger and hard to read, right? Because there are many redundant parts of code. So the very relevant thing to do is to take this part of code, to take it and insert it in a function, and then just call the function each time you wanna execute a part of code. Okay, so this is the real importance of the functions. So let's try to make our first function in Python. This is very simple, and you will see. So def, for example, function, and we will make something like print hello world, right? So by this function, instead of printing hello world all the time, we'll just call the function and print hello world will be executed. Let's try to do this, for example, many times. For example, 4 times, right? Okay, see what happened. So execute that, and this is the result, hello world 4 times, right? You will see the importance. For example, if you have 1,000 of line here, 100 of line, and you will be just executing all the 100 of code, lines of code with just a call. It's really simple and really helpful. So let's try to make something a little bit different or a little bit difficult. Okay, so let's try to make a summation of 2 variables, like my sum a and b here, and I will return something. So the functions can be returning values. For example, the function will try to make a sum of kind of process, and then it will give me the result. For example, making some mathematical operations, some algorithmic, some theoretical or theorems in mathematics, and then it will give me a result, and I will take that result and use it in another process. Or just a function that, for example, plots something, or maybe change something, and that's all. Okay, so let's try to return a value. So a plus b. Okay, return, sorry, right, like that. See what happened. Print my sum 13 9. Okay, so we will respect the order. 13 will be given to a and 9 to b, right? So if, for example, you want to pass this 13 to b, you have to specify it here easily, right? B equal and a equal. When you specify one variable, you have to specify the others. Okay, you cannot just specify one and that's all. So let's try to see the result. And as you can see here, the result is 22, because 13 plus 9 is just 22, okay? So this is about returning values. There are so many things we can talk about. So for example, we can return more than one variable. If you are if you already worked with C language, of course you will know that we cannot return more than one value. So if we want to return more than one, we will have to do it in another manner by using the pointers, etc. Right? But in Python, the things are really easy. You can return whatever you want and as much as you want. Okay, so we can, for example, return the sum, the multiplication, and the division of this. And if I want to take those returned value and put them in my variables, I can say, for example, A, B, C equal my sum. A equal 14, for example, B equal 5, right? Let's see what happened. Okay, yes, I didn't print the values in the terminal. Right, so as you can see, 19, 70, and 2.8, right? So now I took those returned values and I put them here. A will take the A plus B. All the time I will respect the order. So I have 3 returned values. I need to have 3 variables here. If I make just 2 or more than 3, I will have a problem. Okay, so make sure to make it properly. So this is about how we can return values. And the second important thing here, you can see that I'm putting A here and I have another A here. So this A doesn't have any relationship with this A. So this is a global A, this is a global variable, and this is a local variable, of course. So if we change this value, I will not be affecting this value. And the same here, if we change this, I will not be affecting this, right? So, for example, to see that, let's try to make h equal, for example, 9. And let's h equal to 0 here inside a function, and let's see what happens. So let's print the h, and let's print the h after calling the function, and let's see what happened. Right, just to make it clear for you. So as you can see here, we have 9 and we have 9, right? No problem, the value doesn't change it, even if I put h equal to 0, because this variable is not this variable, this is a local, this is a global. So now if I want to change this variable inside this function, I have to specify it. I have to say that this is a global variable. So when I say that, this h will be understood or will be taken as a global variable, and it will point on this variable and I will change its value, right? So let's see what happened as a result. So now it worked and I have a 0 here, right? So this is all about global and local variables. There are so many other things we can discuss about the functions. Like, for example, so I said, when for example, I have a variable, for example, h equals 9, for example, let's say that, and I take, for example, I will call it just function, okay, function, I will make, for example, this g, and I will end all of that, I will g equal to 9, for example, and I return that g, just to see it, or just nothing. Okay, I will do nothing, we'll just do nothing, and I will call the function and put h here. Normally this g, okay, I will take g here, right, so this h will be passed to the function and it will be here, right? So g, so for example I have here k equal to g, right, and then I will change k to 0, right? So now, if I do this, h equal 9, h will be passed to the function, this k will be equal to g, and I will put k equal to 0. So this may seem as a nonsense, because this is a variable, this is another variable. If I put this variable in as 0, g will be stayed on its initial value. This is correct. This is just correct. And h will not be affected, it will be just stay 9. But you have to make attention, this is just for elementary variables, integers, real, etc. But this is not for the lists. If you recall what I said before, I don't know any lesson I said that, but I said it. Lists are acting like pointers, so they point on each thing you affected to her. Okay, so let's try to make a list, or just h, right? H. We will take the same value. For example, this, right? I will make that, and I will say, for example, k0 equal 0. So this is h. Let's print h, and let's print h here. So you may say that, okay, nothing will happen, this is h, and this is h, which doesn't change the value of h, because this is another list. But you will see what will happen. As you can see here, h is changing. We have 0 here instead of 5, okay? So this is really important. When you pass a list inside a function and you do some calculation, make sure you don't affect your list. Or just to be safe, make h.copy. Now it will work without